PUBG's brand new map Taego went live on the PUBG PC test servers yesterday, and I spent the whole day checking it out so that today I can give you my first impressions. Taego is the first 8x8 map to be released on PUBG since the original Miramar released many years ago. Since then, maps have gotten smaller and smaller, but finally we have a return to the large maps that made PUBG so popular in the first place. The map itself looks absolutely stunning, and I had a fantastic time playing on it yesterday, despite me being pretty terrible at PUBG on PC because I usually play on console. If you want to see some more live gameplay of this map, I'll be streaming it again today on twitch.tv/thebeardguys from about 1 PM UK time, so do stop by if you want to see that or if you have any questions. Taego is going to go live on PUBG PC on the 7th of July next week, and then on console on the 15th of July, and there will be no test server for the console version. Taego has clearly been designed with the Erangel experience in mind. There are loads of interesting buildings, compounds and towns nicely spread around the map, with roads and mildly undulating terrain, as well as a few rivers mixing in between them. It avoids the hard to traverse, barren, empty wastelands that make up a lot of the middle of Miramar, and it also is a long way from the compacted and dense jungles of Sanhok. The map has a ton of loot on it, more than you have seen on any PUBG map before, but this update is also going to buff the loot on all the other maps, so they will all be taking a step up in that regard. As you can see from the footage I'm showing you today, there is loot absolutely everywhere, allowing you to get quickly kitted up and into the action. Taego brings with it two new 5.56 guns, the K2 AR and the MK12 DMR, which can also be found in abundance, but are only available on this new map. As well as these new guns, it also brings a new vehicle, the Pony Coupe, which is nice to drive, looks awesome, and can carry 4 players. It's worth keeping in mind, however, that the players in the back can't shoot out of the vehicle. Another new item on Taego is the self-revive kit, which players can find in solos and squad mode, which allows a player holding one to revive themselves when they get knocked. So if you're in solos and you have one of these and get killed, you will only actually get knocked, allowing you to use the self-revive to get back up again. This feature is only available on this new map. The other big new feature that has arrived with Taego and is also exclusive only to this map is the Comeback BR. This is PUBG's take on the Gulag system you see in Warzone that gives players killed early in the game in squad mode only an opportunity to get back into the match. Sadly, despite Taego being an amazing map, the Comeback BR system has fallen pretty flat, and the response to it has been pretty universally negative. Basically, what happens is that if you are killed in a squad game before the end of phase 1 and your team doesn't get wiped out, then you go into a queue for the Comeback BR. The Comeback BR is a 5-minute mini BR that takes place in a separate area after the first circle closes, and if you survive those 5 minutes, then you'll parachute back into the action holding whatever weapons you managed to loot during the mini BR. What this means in reality is that if you die straight off the drop, then you'll have a 10-minute wait until the Comeback BR starts, and then another 5 minutes of that until you can actually drop back in. On top of this, the Comeback Arena has a very slow closing circle and has no reward or incentive for killing other players or moving around the arena. All you need to do is pretty much hide in a corner or go prone for 5 minutes, and then you can spawn back in having done nothing at all. If every player in Comeback BR just stood around and didn't pick up a weapon, they would all spawn back into the main game. Now, I'm definitely glad they're trying something different like this, but I think it needs a serious reworking. I like the idea of a mini BR, but there are some big issues with it. The first is that because there is only a single instance of Comeback BR, players have a huge wait time. It could perhaps be broken down to 2 or 3 separate instances that take place every few minutes to reduce the player's wait time down to 5 minutes or less. Secondly, there is nothing pressuring players inside the Comeback BR to force them into combat, to force them to explore the area, or to encourage them to be aggressive in any way. there is zero motivation to do anything other than hide and wait down the clock. It's also unbalanced, as you can end up in situations where there are 3 members from one squad in the comeback arena who can team up on other players. I've seen lots of good suggestions for improvements here. Maybe you should go through automatically once you get a kill, have the circles close down much more quickly and to a smaller area to force combat, have a limited number of winning spaces available, or to have the best loot in the center of the arena with only pistols and shotguns around the edges, since you drop back into the map with the loot you found in the comeback BR. Aside from the poorly implemented not Gulag, overall I absolutely love the new map, and I think it will be really popular and a really big boost to the fun people are having in PUBG. It will be released as featured map, which is fantastic, though they have currently said it will be solos and squads only, which seems kind of insane, so hopefully they will wake up and add a duo queue as well. Surely we learnt from Haven and Paramo that having maps restricted to a limited number of queues is going to stop a lot of players from bothering to play it. There are loads of really fun places to drop. The bus terminal in the middle of the map is spicy as hell and is going to be like Erangel School used to be back in the early days of PUBG, a crazy hot drop spot with loads of angles and verticality. I also love dropping at the shipyard up in the north of the map, which has lots of big buildings to fight in, as well as tons of loot. Overall, I'm really happy with this update. It's the most interesting content update PUBG have done pretty much since the game came out, and I think this could be huge at rekindling players' interest in the game, as well as bringing back retired players. There's definitely some tweaks to be made to the comeback BR, and it definitely needs a duos queue, but fingers crossed PUBG will listen to the feedback they're getting during the test server phase and look to make improvements here as soon as possible. I don't really expect them to have a chance to do much to comeback BR in the next week or two, but they definitely have time to add a duos queue. So that's everything for today. Hopefully it gives you a bit of an idea of what to expect when the new map launches, and I cannot wait to be able to play it on console when it does. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Ben, we are the Beard Guys, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, he spotted me.
Going back inside. There's a guy up there to the left somewhere.
Need to heal. Someone's bullying me.
Oh, they're above me. I was lining him up. I've done it so much today where I feel like I've really... Nice. I think there's guys up on the roof, careful.
How did I get 2 kills? What?